where best friends and next-door neighbors, Willow and Lillian, spill the tea on murder, mysteries, and other things that go bump in the night. So get your favorite teacup ready, and let's get into it. Welcome to Cruelty Podcast. This is Lillian, and with me is Willow.
Hello.
And this is Influencer Month.
Mm-hmm.
And I hesitate to call this person an influencer, but I guess we'll get into it. But yeah, if I sound like not all here and deranged, I'm very tired. We got a kitten, and she doesn't like sleeping, and she likes clawing and parkouring off of me and my back and my legs.
She's so cute.
She's cute and worth it, but I am in space. I don't know where I am. So we've all read the news stories about trends on social media going wrong. Eating Tide Pods, the ice bucket challenge, stupid stunts like licking toilet seats. And usually no one is hurt, but sometimes tragedy happens. And I just think there's this weird thing on social media that we don't talk about very much. And it's something about the partial anonymity you have as a viewer, not like a creator.
Right.
And that you can just suggest and say some of the most awful shit in the world because there's actually just no repercussions for it. Mm-hmm. It's not going to affect your job. It's not going to, affect your life. So you can just say any old terrible thing. And in this particular case, that got someone killed.
Oh.
Yeah. I don't know. It just, fans will pay. This is how this works. This is going to be about trash streamers. And I didn't know anything about
I've never heard this term.
I had never heard the term myself. But basically, people pay money to see their streamer, either on Twitch or on YouTube is usually where this takes place. Sometimes on Instagram, but rarely. Mm-hmm. Usually not on Facebook because of the terms and conditions.
I can't do anything on that app.
You can't even say man or men without getting zooked. But they'll pick these channels to like these platforms to use, and they'll do increasingly like bizarre and gross stuff like, oh, I'm gonna drink like all the drinks in my house in one cup, and people will pay them for this, and it's called trash because it's low effort content,
right.
So
like trash TV,
like light your
streaming.
Farts on fire and I'll pay you $100.
Okay, this is like what Jackass like morphed into, kind of.
Yes. So, and this is the case of Stanislav Reshetnikov. Oh my God, I said it perfectly like a minute ago. Reshetnikov. Hooray! This is the last time I will say it. He is a Russian YouTube streamer who went by the name of Stas Reeflay. Most of Stas's content was him playing video games and games in online casinos, but he was also known as a trash streamer, which I'm going to define a little more properly right now. So it's defined a couple different ways. I'll include both. Basically, one way is someone can trash stream is to invite a bunch of friends over. They get drunk on their live stream and then complete dares by the viewers and followers for money. Another definition is that it's someone who lets their followers decide what they do for money. Naturally, as the donations are higher, so are the stakes, and so are the pranks, stunts and stuff that they pull.
So if they commit a crime, are the people that suggested it liable?
We will talk about that in a moment.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
Because that's a relevant and very good question. But I'll get back to it.
Okay.
Trash streamers rose to prominence in the late 2010s and were really popular in Russia in particular, where our story takes place. Typically, people use the platforms of YouTube and Twitch, like I said, though in recent years, YouTube has cracked down on trash streaming quite a bit. You can still find it, rest assured, but it's not as prevalent as it once was on that particular platform, and this case has a bit to do with why that is so. It's one of the more famous cases, but man, there have been so many deaths associated with trash streaming.
Damn.
Yeah. So, and the pandemic saw a rise in this sort of streaming in Russia. It was considered an easy way to get money and your 15 minutes of fame. But the world of trash streaming is highly, highly competitive. The only way to rise to prominence and riches is to do things other people are not willing to and refuse to do. The stunts and dares and lewd acts become more and more dangerous, more illegal and taboo as the donations amounts rise. Often trash streamers get caught up in trying to stay relevant and compete with their fellow trash streamers, and they end up doing things they regret.
Yeah.
Yeah. You combine the competitiveness, some Russians' low quality of life, and you get a dangerous level of desperation, which is really sad.
Yeah.
VJ Link, a Russian streamer, is credited for the creation of the subgenre in Russia in 2013. He live streamed inviting a woman to his apartment, and I tried to watch this stream since it was like considered one of the first trash streams, but I couldn't find it in its entirety. But I think the setup is that he invited a woman who happened to be a hairdresser to his apartment. Now, it's not clear if this was for a romantic interlude or for like a haircut. I think it was for a haircut.
I used to go to people's houses for haircuts, so.
Yeah, Willow cuts Maris's hair, so that's a thing.
Hey, I still do.
Yeah.
Still do that. Okay, cool.
Indeed. And, you know, as he's hanging out with this lady, her husband busts in and beats the snot out of him.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, it got a lot of views, went viral.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
A lot of the viewers accused him of staging the whole thing,
Which
and many
kinda
of these
sounds like it
trash
was.
streams are staged.
Yeah.
Some of them, no one's actually getting hurt. It just might look like someone's getting hurt, but that's not always the case. And most of them are, while they may be staged, people are definitely getting hurt.
Right, but they're still in it for the it's almost like scripted movements, and they know that they're going to get money out of it.
Oh,
so.
yeah. It got him views and, of course, money and, of course, followers. Another reason for the rise in popularity of trash streams are Russia's lax domestic violence laws. Non-aggravated battery was decriminalized in 2016 in Russia. What? So basically, you get kind of a free pass to abuse people.
What?
Yeah. So let me define these terms so we all understand. Non-aggravated battery means no serious injury, no assault on a protected class, which would be like a nurse or a social worker, no weapons being used, and no like permanent injury like scarring someone or disfiguring them. So let's
I can beat you with my hands all day?
Yes.
Wow.
Bruises are not considered injury, really. So go fuck yourself. So here's the penalty, basically. So if you, for example, were to beat your wife or girlfriend, but not cause any permanent damage, you will get an $80 to $500 fine, detention of no more than 10 days in jail. That's it. And most people never saw detention for this. You can also do like their form of community service, 60 hours. That's good enough. No matter how many times you do it, P.S. It's not even worth calling cops over.
No.
So VJ Link started doing partnerships with Stas Reeflay in the late 2010s. Stas was far more extreme than he was. Stas once tattooed a donator's name on a guest's arm. He would physically assault and demean his friends on stream. When partnering with other trash streamers, Stas would rent out luxury hotel rooms and physically fight with his party guests, all for views and donations. But what's the end game for this type of streaming? And the answer is fucking depravity.
Yeah.
Just depravity.
Yeah.
And I'm going to trigger warn you guys in advance. This guy does some really sadistic shit. Domestic violence, death, abuse of the handicapped.
You know what it reminds me of? It reminds me of like early trash YouTube, the backyard fights where people would like throw each other on like beds of nails and shit,
Or
and
get
barbed
homeless
wire.
people to fight for money.
Yeah.
That's considered trash streaming, by the way.
Yeah. Okay. Okay.
Yeah. And I basically just gave Russia's trash streaming because it's still really popular over there.
Okay.
Yeah. And it's just poverty and no domestic violence laws worth a shit. Basically, the stakes just get higher and higher, and the requests by followers get more and more dangerous and demeaning. A group of trash streaming YouTubers, for example, passed around a handicapped man. This man, Valentin Ganeshev, would live in these streamers' houses, and he would be tortured at the request of followers. Once he was even buried alive. The streamer who buried him shouted, "You'll be famous," as Valentin sobbed hysterically, clearly terrified. And we'll talk more about him in a minute.
This is making my blood boil already.
Oh, this case sucks. It's so terrible. Trash streaming wouldn't see the height of its popularity until 2020 during the COVID lockdowns. So everyone's, of course, forced to stay inside. But this makes domestic violence issues much worse.
Right.
If you're already in a domestic violence situation, now you get no break. You don't get to escape. Online gaming, too, like Warcraft, saw a huge surge in subscribers. Regular people who never thought to stream before were suddenly on Twitch and YouTube. The pandemic launched thousands of social media influencer careers, and trash streaming took off like wildfire, especially in Russia and other Eastern European countries.
Absolutely.
But as trash streaming's popularity grew, so did the extremes of the requests. Shortly before our story, a teenage streamer named Melstroy, or Andre Biram, assaulted a model named Aliona with a last name I refuse to butcher. It was horrific. It was a violent assault. Like, he busted her mouth and her face. He grabbed her by the back of the head and just bashed her head into a table. And nothing really happened to him. He got questioned by police. And he was arrested, but I don't see that he spent any time for this at all. So what is he doing today? Any guesses?
The same thing.
The same fucking thing. Now, YouTube and Twitch did both block and delete his channels. He just makes new ones.
Right.
Over and over and over.
Yeah.
Yeah. Doesn't give a fuck. Doesn't matter. He'll get enough revenue from one stream that it doesn't matter if his account is deleted the next day.
Jesus Christ.
And what is the Russian government doing about it? Just not a lot. They tried banning various apps. They tried making laws against trash streaming, but the streamers will find a way. They've pretty much vowed to keep going. And I get it. They're seeing more money than they've ever seen in their entire lives. Mm-hmm. Now that we have that little bit of history out of the way, let's get to our story. Stas Reeflay was 30 years old at the time of the incident, and I couldn't really find anything about his personal history. I did find some Russian documents. I went to Yandex, which is Russia's Google, and I put it through Google Translate, and you know what? It was word salad. So,
yeah.
I mean, it appears that he grew up in the Moscow area, and he lives in like a suburb of Moscow. That's about all. And he's 30. That's what I got. Yeah, he was living in a suburb of Moscow at the time that this was happening, and this is the height of his trash streaming career. He could make a month's wage in a day.
Oh my God.
On December 2nd, 2020, Stas had his girlfriend Valentina Grigorieva, there we go, who was 28, and a friend named Marina over at his house. They started a live stream, and at first all that was happening is that they're just drinking alcohol, and they're eating dinner or lunch or something. The suggestions aren't that bad at first, but that's how it always starts. It's the equivalent of drinking games in the beginning. Mm-hmm. Like, ooh, get her to take 2 shots, that kind of stuff. Mm-hmm. But this makes it dangerous because as time goes on, they're getting more and more intoxicated. Viewers started requesting that Stas verbally abuse Valentina. Then they wanted him to hit her. This caused an argument between the couple, and she pulled a knife on him. In the stream, he pushes her down into a chair, and she waves the knife at him a couple more times before collapsing to the floor. It's clear everyone involved is very intoxicated. Mm-hmm. This part's rough for me. Stas called Valentina a prostitute and smelly. The smelly comment is particularly bad because she had a disease of her bowels, and he knew this was something she was very sensitive about. And while I can't find it stated anywhere, I'm pretty sure he was abusive to her outside the streams too. I don't doubt that. Mm-hmm. I can't imagine treating someone I claim to love that way. The abuse was humiliating by itself, but when streamed to his thousands of viewers, I can't imagine how much that hurt and embarrassed her. After she collapses out of the chair, the viewers start demanding more disturbing content. Stas strips Valentina down to her underwear, hitting her in the face, shoving her. He pushes her outside onto the balcony of his apartment. The temperatures are below 0 in Celsius and about 16 to 25 degrees Fahrenheit. Before pushing her outside, Stas poured cold water over her and yanked a jacket away from her when she tried to grab it. He said the cold would sober her up. That is obviously not.
Oh, this is terrifying.
It's so fucking scary. Mm-hmm. Stas was perfectly aware of the weather and how cold it was. Earlier in the stream, you can hear him telling Marina to close the windows because he didn't want them to freeze. And that's a quote. Because it was getting too cold inside the apartment. He knew that it wasn't good for Valentina to go outside in her underpants, soaked in ice water. It's also rumored, though I could not find anything to substantiate this, it is reported in every telling, though, of this case, but there's nothing to back it up, that she was pregnant at the time. Maybe he knew, maybe he didn't. I don't think it would have made a fucking difference.
Right.
This guy's something seriously wrong with this guy. Shortly after leaving her outside, Stas told the entire stream about her bowel issues and said he put her outside because she stunk. And I find this so cruel and unnecessary. Mm-hmm. He claims he did all of this for the money, but I think he was sadistic and enjoyed her suffering. He really fucking seems to on the stream.
Yeah.
I've watched bits and pieces of this. And let me tell y'all, please, I don't recommend looking up this stream. You can still find it. I don't want to
see it.
And trigger warning if you look for it. It does showcase a dead body. It's just so sad and disgusting. Like, I feel icky.
That the whole thing was on live.
Yeah. Well, it gets worse.
It like makes it hard to breathe.
I know. I know. I'm so scared for her when I was watching that stream. You can just see how much she's enjoying the violence and being cruel to her, and she looks
He's getting
scared.
high off of it, and he's getting high off of the people reacting and telling
the
him to do
validation
more.
and attention.
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely.
Mm-hmm.
It's gross. Mm-hmm. Ugh. All through the stream, you can hear Valentina beating on the door so she can be let back in, while he continues to live stream the entire time, and he ignores her cries for help. There's some dispute on how long she was out there. Neighbors who heard what they considered a fight heard her banging on the door and said it wasn't that long, maybe 15 minutes to half an hour, but that's more than enough time for hypothermia. Only need 5 minutes out in those temperatures in her state of dress. And I won't watch the entire stream, y'all. I only watched sections. I can't sit through all that. I would throw up. So I can't verify how long she was out there.
Right.
And I don't know why, since this was on live stream, there's so much fucking conflicting information over this. But there is, and it doesn't matter. She was out there long enough. Still live streaming. He live streams this whole time. He decides to go outside and let her back in. A little short while later, you can see him drag her lifeless body inside. He's heard saying her name, asking her to say something. He checks for a pulse and finds none, and he even comments out loud that she looks dead. He makes an attempt at CPR, though it's clear it's not even a real attempt. He just doesn't really try that long. There's also conflicting information on whether he called an ambulance or whether a viewer of his did. So I've seen it stated equally a number of times in reports and news articles about this and other podcasts. I don't think he fucking called an ambulance, but again, I will not watch the whole stream to find out.
Right.
Because viewers have come forward and said they called. They got multiple calls from the viewers. And yeah, I'm just not going to look for it. I'm not going to go through that.
Yeah.
Stas drags her body to the couch and lays her there, where he then zooms in on her face. And he drinks like alcohol on the stream. He has around 1,500 viewers at this point. Many of them are begging him to stop streaming, but there are a handful of viewers that pay him to keep the stream going.
Oh, that's disgusting.
For reasons I don't understand at all, it takes 2 hours for an ambulance to arrive.
2 hours?
Mm-hmm. And that's when the stream stops, because he's arrested.
Did he get arrested on live?
No, he stopped it before then. He is arrested for manslaughter. On the stream, he seemed to be remorseful. He was crying and drinking, saying how much he had loved her. But later, when interviewed by the press, Stas said he didn't do anything wrong and that her death was likely due to a drug overdose. Now, people who watched the stream all the way through and reported on it said there is no evidence she was doing anything but drinking. She definitely wasn't doing any drugs. She was just really intoxicated. And, a lot of people want to victim blame. Again, saying that she was there willingly. She knew these stunts were going to be done. She had no idea. This was stuff suggested on live. And she's in a relationship with this guy. She's probably already been abused. I'm so tired of victim blaming in every single fucking case I read about. What the hell is wrong with people? Sorry, I'm just mad. Anyway, people were mad that she was drinking while pregnant. Y'all, it's not even confirmed she was pregnant.
Yeah.
And given the situation she's in with this abusive, sadistic bastard, I'm not going to judge her for that.
Or
it's not my place.
It's likely that she could have been and not known.
I think it was more that she just didn't know, and which means he didn't know either, but I promise you it wouldn't have made a fucking difference to him.
Yeah.
Can you imagine bringing a kid into that fucking environment?
It's terrifying.
So scary. At first, it is suspected that her death was due to hypothermia, but after her autopsy, it was revealed that Valentina died due to intracranial bleeding from head trauma.
Oh.
And this is because he beat her repeatedly and not just on the stream. So after he hits her in the stream and before he drags her outside, she's already dying. She just doesn't know it.
Oh, baby.
Yeah. And she spent her last moments freezing, terrified, and in pain. And humiliated. Oh, y'all, I know I talked the other day about having empathy for our perpetrators and not calling them monsters, but I'm having a hard time with this one. Stas faced up to 15 years in prison for her death, and I don't think manslaughter is an accurate charge. He hit her in the head, took off her clothes, put her in freezing temperatures, and while that didn't cause her death, it most certainly could have and probably would have if the head trauma hadn't. I think he knew, and I think he thought it would make him even more famous and rich. I think he knew he was killing her. I just don't think he cared. I usually don't like speculating this much, but I think the evidence actually of the live stream points to first-degree murder.
Yeah.
And this wasn't the first time he'd abused people on streams for money. It wasn't the first time he abused Valentina either. On an earlier stream, he pepper sprayed her right in the face. Oh my God. After getting sprayed with pepper spray, Valentina can be seen laying on the couch, shouting out in pain and fear until she has what looks like a panic attack. Stas gets up from his gaming chair and he goes over to her and pepper sprays her again at like no range. It's just like directly in her face.
Jesus.
He goes back to streaming. And I've seen this clip, unfortunately. She's literally writhing on the ground, yelling in pain and crying. And he just doesn't care. In another stream, a woman that was at one of Stas's streaming parties throws food on Valentina and assaults her at the behest of the viewers. Stas seems angered by this. He jumps up, attacks the woman, beating her viciously and breaking her nose.
Jesus Christ.
When they say trash streaming, they ain't joking. This is fucking trash. Stas was also one of the group of streamers that abused the mentally handicapped man, Valentin. In 2019, Stas got Valentin to come to his apartment by luring him in with alcohol, promise of food, somewhere warm to sleep, and some money. He said, hey, if you go on these live streams with me, I'll pay you. I'll give you a percentage of my earnings. At first, when the stream starts, Stas is appearing to be nice to him, but we all know where this is going. Stas then turns on him, physically and verbally assaulting him, shouting at him. He tortures him for money, basically, and he only gave Valentin a tiny portion of the money he got for hurting him. The abuse started on the stream with something that Stas called baptisms, which is something he did to Valentina the night she died. This is where he pours freezing water over someone when they weren't paying attention. He broke eggs over Valentin's head. After that, Stas went to the bathroom and urinated in a cup. He asked viewers for donations, and he would pour the cup of urine over Valentin. They didn't want that, though. Instead, they wanted Stas to make Valentin drink it. Stas told Valentin that it was beer, getting the unsuspected handicapped man to drink his urine.
Jesus Christ.
Valentin later told police that these people were his friends. The man was homeless, and it's important to remember that the streamers gave him food, shelter, and alcohol, which Valentin had addiction issues with. Without pressing charges, these streamers were allowed to continue their terror and abuse, not just on him, but others. They frequently picked on the homeless for this kind of shit. And it would not surprise me in the slightest if it come to light later that they've been killing homeless people with these fucking stunts. Yeah. Again, I don't like speculating, but I don't know where else this kind of stuff is heading.
This is extreme abuse. Extreme abuse.
Yes.
That many of these things could inflict, like...
This guy should never be let out of jail, and you'll see why in a second.
Oh my God. No, I just want it to end. I want him to stop.
Oh, well,
I know.
Valentin even became known in the trash streaming community for all the abuse he willingly took in order to get food and alcohol, and not in a good way. I think it's sad that we live in a world where someone who is handicapped and struggling with addiction would rather subject themselves to this degrading treatment in order to survive. There's no state to go to.
There's no humanity.
I get it, and I understand. It just makes me so sad.
Yeah.
But this last stream with Stas was where Valentin decided he couldn't take the abuse anymore. This is the cup of urine. It wasn't worth it, so he tried to leave, but Stas took his phone and threw it out of his window. It fell 14 floors and was destroyed. He stole Valentin's passport, too. So Valentin was held against his will in Stas's apartment for over 6 months. He kidnapped this man.
6 months?
6 months.
And he lived through it?
Yeah.
God.
This is where Stas and his friends would slap, beat, humiliate, and torture him all on their live streams. He was eventually able to escape, but God knows what would have happened to him if he didn't. Stas would go on to assault another disabled man on his streams. Valentina wouldn't be Stas's first victim to have an ambulance called on their behalf. This unnamed disabled man was forced to drink a lot of oil, and I don't know what kind, whether it was like cooking oil or motor oil, but like quarts and quarts of it, until he was so sick an ambulance had to come and get him and take him to the hospital for treatment. God. That should have been the end. Because that was before Valentin. That should have been the end. Yeah. What he did with Valentin, I get, you know, when victims don't press charges because of Stockholm Syndrome, what Valentin clearly had. I think the police should press fucking charges anyway.
Yeah, it doesn't matter.
He kidnapped a man.
There was a crime committed. That's it.
The evidence, all of it, the throwing the phone out the window, to like making him drink his urine, to threatening him, to stealing his passport, it was all on video. All of it was documented. I don't understand why this guy was allowed to get away with shit like this for literal years.
When there's video evidence of all of his crimes.
Someone literally had to die for anyone to give a fuck. And even then, they don't give that much of a fuck. Fucking mad. Stas would hold parties where he would beat his guests. So when he did this to Valentina, it wasn't out of character or unusual. It was his brand. Stas gained over 500,000 followers for his antics prior to the death of Valentino. After the video of his girlfriend's death, his YouTube channel was deleted by the platform. But the video of her death itself stayed up for a full 24 hours, Willow, before the platform took it down after thousands and thousands of complaints. And now little kids saw that shit.
And now look what YouTube is. It's like you can't
even say like fart or butt nuggets on there. Like there's because I get listeners all the time that will ask me why won't we upload to YouTube? What's the point? Yeah. We're going to be shadow banned, demonetized. Yeah. Like I can't cuss, I can't say fucking, but this guy can murder his girlfriend and that video's up. Murder. No, you can't even say murder. You can't say sexual assault. You can't say child abuse. Mm-hmm. Why can't I say these words
when they're happening?
I feel like the censorship on YouTube is out of fucking control. And then look, y'all, I'm not going to get too much into a rabbit hole on this one, but if you've ever looked at like the inappropriate channels for children on there where they're clearly pushed towards children and yet their content is clearly weird, fetishy shit, that stuff's on there. But my God, no. I can't say this guy was murdered or she was assaulted.
Yes.
Cannot say rape. Mm-hmm. And if the little pop-up comes on and it says this content is intended for a mature audience, do you wish to proceed? You ain't getting views. So I just don't see the point in putting it up there.
And you're
really don't.
Demonetized.
Yeah, I mean, the effort that I have to go through to edit and then upload and then descriptions and hashtags and sharing and all of that stuff, if there's literally no chance of money for it,
right?
Well, why am I doing all the effort? I mean, YouTube is a platform for podcasts. I know a lot of people, if you listen, I'm not shitting on you. I do it too. It's not the best platform for podcasts.
Right. Well, this podcast.
I mean, I do listen to a lot of true crime.
I do
podcasts on YouTube. But the issue is like they'll blank out words. And so sometimes I literally don't know what the fuck they're saying. So it's really frustrating.
Yeah.
But that's so they don't get demonetized. I'm not hating on them at all.
Right.
Stanislav was convicted and sentenced to only 6 years in prison for manslaughter.
6.
After he brutally beat her and tortured her and threw her outside in the cold.
And it was documented.
It was all of it.
It was clearly his.
It was premeditated. Someone please explain to me, someone with a bigger, smarter galaxy brain than me, someone who knows about law in Russia, because I tried looking it up and the Iron Curtain is present again because I can't get any decent information. I just can't. So if you know, hey, and I'm not shitting on Russian people, let's be clear. We have a lot of fans in Russia, and I really appreciate all of them. I'm sorry for the hard time y'all are going through.
Right.
Really and truly, I'm scared for y'all, just like I'm scared for us and I'm scared for Ukraine.
Yeah.
So I'm not shitting. I'll shit on the Russian government all day, though. Trust. Putin can go straight to fucking hell. He's made of demons.
Mm-hmm. And so is ours.
Oh,
the whole fucking thing.
The whole fucking thing is terrible. It's terrible. It's not any better. It's just different. So if anybody's listening wants to explain to me how this wasn't first-degree murder, I am willing to be educated. But as far as our judicial system is concerned, this would have been definitely first-degree murder.
If not second-degree murder, if he could get away with, I thought that she would just live through that. I don't know.
Well, that would be manslaughter.
Is that?
Yeah.
I thought manslaughter was below second-degree murder.
It is, but it would be manslaughter if he was just saying, I didn't know she'd die. Yeah. But yeah, he did. Yeah, he did. He's not stupid. He commented on the weather earlier in the stream.
Oh, that's right, yeah.
So you see, saying that they would freeze to death, that's his fucking quote. So my opinion is, and if you guys disagree with me, I'll listen to your opinions, but my opinion is that was first degree murder. I think he knew that it at least had the chance of killing her. And I think he was fine with it.
Yeah.
I think he was pushing for it.
I think that he was like, this is really going to make me some money.
That's exactly what he thought.
Because it did, is the thing. It made him so much money.
His followers jumped up by a lot after this. Yeah. Disgusting. Mm-hmm. Now, you asked the question, what happens to the people making these suggestions on the stream? Are they legally held to any account? No. Nothing happened to these people. Wasn't even looked into, I don't believe. It should be.
That's revolting.
It should be. They are culpable.
Absolutely.
They are culpable. If you told someone to do something and you know, beyond a shadow of a doubt, they're going to do it, and you offer money for it, I don't see how that's any different than hiring a hitman to kill someone.
Exactly.
Yeah, laws definitely need to be changed. Mm-hmm. And not here's what pisses me off. Is that the platforms will censor themselves in just the most jackass, back-asswards way I've ever seen in my life. Like, how is YouTube making it to where you can't say sexual assault going to stop this kind of stuff from happening? The minute there are that many reports of inappropriate content, there should be an automatic feature where those videos are immediately taken down. No little kids needed to see him drag her dead body around that apartment, and it's humiliating, disrespectful to her, too. And he zoomed in on her face, dude. God.
My heart just breaks for her.
And you know, normally we really try and center victims on this podcast, but there is no information. She was 28 years old, but that is literally the only information I have. I think she was into streaming as well. She was a beautiful girl. And it's just, and what's sad is in this particular live stream, she had dyed her hair pink and she just looked really cute.
Honey.
She's pitiful. Just pitiful. And I tried to watch a couple of the streams with this disabled homeless man, and I could not. I could not do it.
No.
It's clear he's got a mental handicap.
I can't with anything violent against the handicap. I can't. It just, I know.
Sometimes I try and sit and watch difficult content because I believe I owe it to the victims. But in this case, I think not so much. I don't think it does us any favors to watch it. I think it's humiliating for them.
Yes.
And I think that content should be scrubbed from the fucking face of the earth. But gosh, it is a really hard question. Like, what is censorship? And how do we discourage this kind of stuff? And I think the answer is pretty fucking clear. Money is evil. It's evil as fuck. And when you make everybody poor and there's a big wage gap between the haves and the have-nots, you're going to get this desperate shit. I want you guys to look at reality television.
Right.
Go ahead, but hold on. You're going to think, 90 Day Fiancé. No, bitch. I'm talking about the baking shows. The baking shows.
The baking shows?
Yeah. Mm-hmm. So here's how a typical baking show goes, okay? So the setup is there's a theme. Usually it's Christmas or Halloween. That's when most of the things are. Mm-hmm. And they're going to have to make this elaborate, insane cake in like 5 hours, something that would usually take them like 48 hours of work. Y'all, these people are sobbing, cutting themselves, bleeding everywhere, fighting with each other. It's like cake gladiators. Like, they're desperate.
Oh, like the competitions?
Yes.
Gotcha.
They're all so desperate. And when you hear, like, when they get asked on the show, like, what would you do with the $10,000 prize money? I'd pay for my mom cancer treatments. It's shit like that. Y'all, this is hell. That's hell.
Yeah, we're in the bad place.
This is the bad place.
We're in the bad place.
What do you mean? You're torturing yourself on live television. Oh, and they're humiliated too. It's humiliating to lose, and it's humiliating to work so hard and go home with nothing. Mm-hmm. And yeah, maybe it gives them a little boost in their business, but this is not their finest hour.
Right.
These people are struggling and just desperate. We've got to do something. We have to care more about the least of us.
Right.
But all we care about is people who are famous and who have money. We don't care about a homeless, mentally handicapped man because he's an alcoholic and he probably deserves it.
God damn.
And I'm so tired of this.
It just breaks my heart. It really, really does.
Because let me tell you something. Literally no one on the face of the earth, not even a fucking dog, deserves to be treated that way. And for the record, I think you should treat dogs like little princess babies, and they should all be on a little pillow being given treats all the time, so don't come at me sideways about dogs. I love dogs. We don't deserve dogs.
Right. But we also deserve food, shelter, warm.
Human beings, there should be just as much outrage when you see a homeless person as when someone sees a homeless and abused dog.
Yes.
There should be the same level of outrage, and there isn't. We are numb to it. And it is sad, and it is pathetic. We are human. We're supposed to be better than animals because we have empathy and higher intelligence or whatever. And you know what I see? Just desperation, poverty, and then those that are in power are money-grubbing cunts. They don't give a shit about us. We got to do something. I just wish I knew what I could say to do.
Right.
So is what I tell everybody at the end of these when I feel particularly sad about the state of humanity is you go out there and do the little good.
Right.
You do the little good.
Right.
You give your spare change. Maybe random act of kindness if you can afford it. Buy the lady behind you, buy her groceries. Mm-hmm. You know, donate to little charities, donate to GoFundMe. One of my favorite things to do when I have extra money is I just go to GoFundMe and I just pick some to donate to.
Yeah.
It makes me feel good.
Absolutely. Mm-hmm.
And be kind to other people. You don't even know what somebody's going through. So it's like, it reminds me of the Turpin 13 case, which I bring up all the time because nobody knew what them kids were going through and they're going to be mean to them little kids anyway.
Yes, exactly.
And school was their only fucking respite from the hell that was home.
It was just a second hell.
It was just another hell. Maris was bullied horrifically in school and was abused horrifically at home. And y'all, we can't be everyone's safe place to fall.
Right.
Be that soft place. Be a safe space. And I guarantee you, make more friends, and life starts going better for you, too. It helps you be less fucking angry at the state of things, too. But I'll get off my soapbox and quit preaching, because I'm done now. That's the end of that terrible story. This month has just made me mad.
I know, doesn't it?
It makes everything feel so slimy and cheap.
Yeah, because it's on display. It's look what I've done. Dun-dun-dun.
The awful open darkness of people's souls on display makes me sick.
And I haven't really like talked about it or really focused much on it, but something that I'm realizing as we go through this month is the comment sections, which really shine in this episode. But, you know, it's just
Foul.
It's disgusting. It's disgusting. And the fucking audacity that people have to type out things that they would never actually say to somebody's face.
Because they don't have the fucking backbone.
Exactly. But they'll use these really harsh words and say these really terrible things, doxing, trying to coax people into killing themselves, all kinds of different things. They can say that from their keyboard.
Mm-hmm. Me and Maris were in the Huffington Post once.
Really?
Yes.
I didn't know that.
Maris got featured as a trans artist and writer.
Good.
As an important trans nabe, and I think it was in 2015, 2014, something like that. And the comments section was fun. No. I like getting death threats just because I wrote a book with somebody I love. Yeah. Yeah. Oh, we got both made fun of horribly. It just took all the joy we had at that nice little piece of recognition and ruined it. Mm-hmm. But yeah, that brings us to business time. I'll dry my tears on dollars that I don't have. No, but really. Hey, y'all, guess what? It's almost Mother's Day.
Oh, my goodness.
You're going to have to be nice to your mama.
Yeah.
And you know what mama's like? I'll tell you what they don't like. They don't like those gift sets from Walmart.
No.
We don't like those. I mean, we appreciate the thought that counts. They're expensive. They're full of junky, crappy plastic. They're not good for your skin. But guess what? I make Mother's Day gift baskets. That's right. That's right, I do.
Oh, cool. I didn't know that you were doing that. That's
yeah,
awesome.
We got 2 scents this year. We have oatmeal milk and honey, which is just, you've smelled it.
Oh, it's so warm.
And
doesn't
creamy.
it smell warm?
It does, like a hug. It's really nice. It's a clean, nice, fresh smell,
yes.
too. I use it. It's always one of our best sellers, but it'll come with like soaps and lotions and like a little this or that and a bath bomb. Cute. But if you have a mom who's not too into soap, I don't know. Some moms are particular about their brand of soap they use. Okay. Mm-hmm. We have an afternoon tea gift basket where we have our tea blends.
Yes.
And we have a cute little honey spoon with a fucking bee on it, which is adorable. And then you get like some wax melts. So you can just imagine your mom's making a little cup of tea, stirring the honey with a cute little spoon and having her wax melts. She reads a book with her cozy slippers.
Or a lot of people are having babies right now. I know we all have friends who just gave birth or something like that. You could always give your friend a new Mama's Day gift.
They're getting plenty of shit for the baby.
Oh my God.
Please pay attention to the mama.
New moms need help.
I think I gave you soap after you had Matilda.
Oh yeah, of course you did.
Matter of fact, yeah. I'm like, here, wash yourself with this.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah.
Also, somebody reached out to me recently and asked if I do custom orders. Yes, I will do your baby shower. I'll do your wedding shower. I'll do whatever party, birthdays. Yeah, and I will give you wholesale pricing if you do that, which means it's pretty cheap. Mm-hmm. So all you got to do is drop me a message. I'll leave my email somewhere. You'll find I'm easy to get a hold of.
It's in the link tree.
It's in the link tree. Just email me. It's okay. You can ask me anything. Yeah. If you're rude, I just won't respond. If I don't respond and you weren't rude, it went to spam and I didn't see it because I have a lot of emails. I'm one of those neurodivergents that never deletes emails. So I have like 40,000.
I have hundreds and hundreds of thousands of emails dating back to 2000 and something.
Some from 2009 in my Gmail.
Yeah.
Will I ever delete it, or will I merely buy more storage? You be the judge. Anyway, listeners get a discount. You get a 10% discount on my soap website, which has other things in soap. I just put mushroom earrings up, y'all. They're cute as shit.
They really are. They're really cute.
Really cute. Cruel is the code you put in the coupon section. CRUEL. Can't ever spell
really
it out loud.
Cute. You had to hold your eyes closed.
I did have to put my eyes shut because it'd make it less loud in here.
One of the smartest people I know. CRU. So cute. So cute.
I just can't spell that word out loud.
No, I have dyslexia. I'm literally preaching the choir.
And so does Maris. I don't have that one, but I have other problems. Anyway, moving on.
Sorry.
We have a Patreon. What? I'm not going to get into it. Y'all have heard if you've listened once.
Yeah.
Just go to our Patreon, become a patron. Here's my advice, because spending money is hard, especially in this fucking economy. Although grocery prices are finally going down, we can all sob in relief. Try the $1 tier, so that way you can see all of the content that we post at least, and that would be rad.
Yeah, and then you get at least our content without ads, and then you get the occasional commentary. You kind of just get to chill with us, which is nice.
It is nice. And then if you give it a spin, you're like, you know what? I'm going to bump up to the $5 tier so I can get that extra weekly bonus episode. Yeah, just give it a whirl.
And you can ebb and flow in between the two, depending on
It won't hurt my feelings. No, we understand.
We get it.
How many think, y'all, I can't pay for my ESO, my Elder Scrolls Online subscription right now because I'm too poor. So I'm just not playing. I'm sad.
I'm sorry.
It's okay. It's fine. Also, if you just enjoy our content and you don't really feel like making any kind of commitment, we have a coffee account and you can send us little dollars that way, like a tip you would give a waitress at a restaurant.
That'd be nice.
Would be nice. Anytime I get those, I just go get us some coffee, which we enjoy. We could use this research is hard.
And a little sugar high with some caffeine would be nice.
Out in the nice Ozark springtime. It is so pretty.
And we shop local. So
you know what I haven't mentioned in a bit? Merch.
I was daydreaming about our merch earlier today. I was like, dang, I really like our merch.
So on my soap website, there'll be two merches that I have there. I don't know what else to call them. I have an acrylic pen. It's really, really cute. Has our logo on it. And I have a logo of our stickers. They're just a couple bucks. You can go buy those there. But if you want something like a t-shirt or a bigger sticker or a coffee mug, well, we have the link in our description and you can get all of those. And I think it's through TeePublic. Yep. And if you sign up for their discounts, y'all, you can get it for 20-30% off. I think I got my shirt for $15.
I did.
That's not that bad.
Yep. And I need a summer one because I got a winter one.
And I will tell you, I ordered them before I even talked about it so we could make sure it was quality. They're really nice. I've washed it tons of times.
Yeah, I'm really picky about what fabric touches my skin. If I don't like it, I wouldn't tell you about it. But I love my t-shirt, so I'm going to get more and I'm excited.
And someone reached out to me, I think it was day before yesterday, and was like, y'all should banter more. We do banter, but it's at the end.
Sometimes
we're tired after the episode.
But that's why we have, and that's the tea episodes on our $1
It is all
tier.
banter. So if you enjoy banter, then that's the Patreon $1 tier that you need to be on. Because I really feel like banter ahead of a case is rude and disrespectful to the victim.
Yes.
And then I don't think y'all are going to want to hear about the minutia of my daily life. But if you do, if you're like, Lillian, I do want to know what you ate for dinner. Lillian, I do want to see 60 pictures of y'all's new kitten.
Discord.
Come to our Discord, not behind a paywall.
It's wonderful in there. I really do.
Everyone is so nice.
I really do feel nice in there. It's comfy.
Yeah. And you may say, but Lillian, I don't know about a Discord.
I don't know what a Discord is.
We don't either. I don't know what the fuck's happening.
I just know you go in there and there's a friend.
It's like a chat room. If you remember from the AOL days and stuff like that, it's a lot like that.
It's a little bit better user-friendly.
Much more user-friendly. Pretty intuitive.
Yeah.
But if you're super confused and you want me to badly explain it to you, just email me and I'll help you out.
I can video record or something like that.
I sure can.
Literally every single person who has come into our Discord, myself included, enters by saying, I don't know what I'm doing here.
But hello.
There we go. That's it.
Because you say, well, Lillian, you run the Discord. No, I do not. My children run the Discord. For they are 2 of them are adults, first of all. The other one's an older teen. So they just know how to do stuff because they grew up on the internet.
It wasn't until you made mention of it for the podcast that I even found out what it was. And now that I know what it is, it's like when you see like when you finally get a Toyota Camry and then all of a sudden you see them,
Camrys,
you know, like I started to realize that a lot of people use Discord for various things.
Yes. But I like hearing what you guys thought. Like, I like having episode discussions there.
Really love that. It really feels good. It's like an extra like interactive listening
experience. Yes. And for me, what's so nice is that sometimes, when, especially at the start of this podcast, we'll make an episode, we'll record it and throw it into the void and hear nothing.
And we get no feedback, which, I mean, I've never given any feedback to any podcaster I've ever listened to, ever.
Like a jerk now.
Or a YouTuber. And I've never reached out to anybody. And I have enjoyed many episodes, so I get it. But just know that when you do reach out and you do say something, especially to us, it means a lot.
I ain't famous. I will respond.
Yeah.
I don't think I'm too good to like respond to something nice someone says or a question. I don't mind corrections when I've butchered the pronunciation of something. Yeah, I like to know.
Sometimes, again, I am dyslexic, so like I've gotten a name switched before. Yeah. Gotten a bad review for that. It was like an Ashley Brittany situation, and I got mixed up. But no, people have been said, you said 1793 and you meant 1973, and I'm like, thank you. I really appreciate it. I like to know when I fuck up. Yes. So I can correct myself.
Well, part of my whole thing in life is further education of myself and being kind and nice. And in order to do that, I got to learn.
Yes.
And that means you got to be humble and not a big dick if someone corrects you.
Absolutely.
However, if you're going to correct me and I am indeed right and you're wrong, well, then it's on you and I'm laughing. So I'm just pointing that out. Yeah. That has literally happened twice. Yeah. Somebody's like, you didn't say the thing. And I was like, at timestamp, 5 minutes. And I was like, I did say
Virgo.
Yes, it's not my fault. It's the stars. We can blame them. Anyway, hey, if all you can do to support this podcast is listen, we appreciate you and love you very much. And thank you as always, because without y'all, I don't think we'd still be doing this.
We wouldn't be able to.
It's really hard. But hey, we'll see you next time. Us on your social media platform of choice. Linktree/cruelty has all of the links. Check out our Patreon for exclusive episodes, merch, ad-free episodes, live ghost hunts, and much more. Please be sure to subscribe. New episodes are uploaded weekly. Thank you so much. See you next time. Music and production by Libby.